All right, welcome back to Higher Cooking. Today is a fun day. This is a very unique day in the fact that we're recreating one of my favorite foods of all time. In my family, I grew up eating the Big Boy hamburger. It was part of our family, just like a lot of families have a pot roast or a turkey or a spaghetti, a special dish that was good to them. The Big Boy was it for me. So what we're doing today is the history of the Big Boy is very unique. The original Big Boy featured a red, sweet, and a little spicy sauce on it. When the Big Boy then moved east past the Mississippi, the Frisch franchise actually created the tartar sauce that we use on the Big Boy today. So to be fair, I'm going to do both sauces. And I will tell you right now, one sauce I love much more than the other, and I'm sure those in my family feel the same. So let's start with the original sauce, the red sauce from Bob's Big Boy. And this is a very simple recipe. To make the red sauce, it's simply equal parts ketchup, sweet relish, and chili sauce. Not quite sure what motivated this combination when it first was created, but this is that secret red sauce that you see on Big Boys, particularly those that are located on the West Coast. So we put in equal parts ketchup, equal parts sweet relish, and finally, equal parts chili sauce. And all you have to do to make this sauce is simply put it together and whip it up. And this is what you get. This beautiful, perfect burger topping. At least to those who believe that on the West Coast. Let me give it a shot here real quick. It's like an interesting flavor, kind of ketchup-y, a little like cocktail sauce, but without the horseradish. Love that chili. The sweet relish is nice. It adds something nice to it. It's a really nice sauce. I can see how if you're trying to change up a hamburger and you wanted to try something different, this added a nice little kick to the standard ketchup. But let's now make the famous white sauce or tartar sauce that is much more well known on the east side of the United States. So let's say you're located somewhere where you can't find a Frisch's tartar sauce jar or even just a Big Boy sauce. A lot of these you can buy online still. But if you really want to recreate the true sauce that was served on the original Big Boy in the Midwest, we're going to be making the famous tartar sauce today. But it's still fun to get these. I still love getting these. I keep these around. It's nice to have it. I throw it on a burger all the time, especially if I'm just ordering a hamburger, like a Five Guys burger. I love throwing a little of this on and recreating as close as I can to original Big Boy as I can. So this is a great sauce. So let's put together our tartar sauce. First thing we're going to do is start off with 2/3 of a cup of mayonnaise. So I'm using just standard Hellmann's mayonnaise. You don't want to use Miracle Whip. It's too sweet. So make sure you're using just a good traditional mayonnaise. We're going to use 2 teaspoons of sweet relish. 2 teaspoons of dill relish. To make the impact of that dill even more powerful, we're going to add an additional teaspoon of dill liquid. So pickle juice, basically. We're going to use 1 teaspoon of fresh lemon juice. Use about maybe 1/4 teaspoon of fresh chopped white onion. 1/8 teaspoon of granulated garlic. And finally, salt to taste. So just a pinch. I just put just a little bit just to add to it to begin with. Once we have all the ingredients together, just simply whip them together and we'll make our tartar sauce. Alrighty, let's get that. Spread it on out. And I think now what we have created is the perfect tartar sauce for our Big Boy. Let's give it a shot. I'm pretty familiar with this flavor. Yep, That's perfect. You can taste that little bit of lemon juice that gives it that sourness right at the end. The dill's really nice, and when you get just a bit of the sweet relish, it brings that kind of uplifting sweet spot to that bite of that tartar sauce. This is perfect. The best way to handle this is after you work it and it's now become a little runny, let's go ahead and get it refrigerated along with the red sauce that we made earlier for preparations for our big boy.
Now we're gonna make the smash burger big boy, or also known as the blasphemous big boy. So what I have over here, a couple pre-formed bald patties, and I'm just gonna take these and then set them into a hot skillet. And what we're gonna do is, when you make a smash burger, what I like to do is have the pre-formed patty and then just let them get a nice seared crust on the bottom of it. And then what this does is when you cook a hamburger like this in a skillet, it prevents the middle from getting super cooked super fast. And then so I'm just gonna check it. And then it's I'd say maybe 5 more seconds and it's about there to flip it and smash it. And then the way I like to smash the patties is from the inside out and try to get the edges as thin as possible. That'll get a nice crust on it, but also maintaining the thickness in the middle. Move that over to the side. We'll flip this guy. And then you can see a really nice crust on top. And then so I usually get about medium weight and then I just work from the edges. So after I've smashed it, I like to season them with some seasoning salt, just to give it a little extra. Generously like sprinkle this on. We're using 80-20 ground chuck, so there's gonna be plenty of fat in it. You can see we have a really nice like patina and char on it. And then at this time, I like to take my cheese and get it all melty on it. Depending if you're using cold cheese or not, this is still a little bit cold. I like to sacrifice my hands a little bit and just get a little pre-melt on the cheese and then just like gently like drape it on there. So you can see the pan's nice and hot. You're just gonna get a great melt. And usually as soon as you start to see this cheese melt, your hamburger's done and it's perfect. And it's not overcooked yet in the middle. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull these off.
Okay, now that we've seen my cousin do the blasphemous big boy, I'm gonna cook a hamburger, the original big boy, the original way. Pre-formed patties, no smash, just simply a simple patty on a hot flat top with a little bit of seasoning salt. The difference here versus the smash is this patty's pre-formed, thin already, placed under the hot flat top, and then cooked in its own fat. But trying to stick true to the original big boy, we're gonna cook it the way they did that. So the blasphemous big boy, which actually has a ton of flavor, versus the traditional cooked pre-formed patty. We'll just start to see it browning just a bit on the edges. Looks pretty perfect actually here. You can see it's cooking in its own oil. I'll move it away a little bit. We're simply trying to get an even medium cook on this burger patty. We're not gonna put cheese on it. We're just gonna cook it straightforward, and then we're gonna assemble the big boy, which is slightly different than what we saw with the blasphemous big boy. All right, now we're back, and in the spirit of big boy, we brought the blasphemous big boy versus the original big boy. So let us show you how to assemble a big boy the traditional way that was done in our family. So we have a bun. It's really hard to find triple decker buns in the store. So what we did was we actually cut the bottoms off, middle bun, so we could create our own middle bun. So we each have this. So let's assemble this. I'm gonna make mine the traditional way. So I'm gonna start, and I'm gonna put just a little bit of the tartar sauce on the bottom of the first bun. So a nice spoon of it. Now, I really like the tartar sauce, so I'm gonna make mine just a little heavier than maybe normal. So, do you want that?
Yeah, so the first step of this is also tartar sauce on the bottom, so it's not straying off so far, and I also like it, so I load it up.
Next, I love the shredded lettuce. Now, for me, as a kid growing up, this is one of the things that I like the most. I hated big leafy lettuce, so a nice little shredded lettuce like this was perfect.
And I also like to do the same thing next. It gives it a nice support base.
Now the difference here is the Blasphemous Burger already has cheese on it, whereas the traditional Big Boy has one slice of cheese laid over the lettuce, on top of the sauce, on the bottom bun.
And then this one, I'm just gonna put the patty with cheese right on top.
Now I'm gonna place our patty on top, traditional Big Boy size patty, smaller burger, but still there. And then I'm gonna put the middle bun.
Same.
All righty. Now, this is the step. You'll see we separate. Some people will put the traditional tartar sauce, lettuce, and pickle. Is that what you're doing?
Well, I'm going tartar sauce right now.
All right, you're going tartar sauce. All right, I am going to go tartar sauce too.
Okay.
But I do like this. Even though the original one did not necessarily have tartar sauce on it, I do like the tartar sauce, so I would put tartar sauce on this layer as well. Okay.
All right.
Now what do you
And
do?
I'm going to go in for a little bit more lettuce, just to give it some more support when I put the patty on.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm going to put my patty on directly on top now.
I'll do this.
And now I'm going to put 2 pickles here.
And then I'm going to load it up with pickles. That's how I believe it should be. I think sometimes if you were to go to a restaurant, they would just give you one, and the default order would always be, I'd like a Big Boy with extra pickles. And then they give you one more sometimes, and then you go, no, I need about this many.
Wow, so you're a big pickle fan.
Absolutely. So I usually like to do 4 and then 1 in the middle for an even distribution. So you get one in every bite.
Okay, and then finally I like to put the top of my burger on.
Yep.
And then I like the way it was served in our day, with 1 pickle on top.
All right, I guess I'll do that too since I love pickles.
All righty,
Yeah.
So there we go. Now we have to assemble the West Coast version. So this is Bob's Big Boy. So this is the original. So we're gonna try to replicate it the same way. So in this case, we're gonna start with our double-decker bun again. This, they had mayonnaise or tartar sauce. So we're gonna use our tartar sauce because we appreciate this more. So we're gonna put a little bit of it on. Okay.
And we also have to eat it after we're done assembling it.
So then they put lettuce. And then they put 1 single slice of cheese.
Yep.
Then a burger patty.
Yep.
And then a middle bun.
Middle bun. And then more
Tartar.
mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
The red
sauce.
relish.
The red relish sauce. The red sauce, okay. Now, did they have pickle?
No, I didn't
I didn't think there was pickle.
No.
Yeah. So to me, that is
The original.
Bob's
Yeah.
Big Boy. Okay. So now we got Bob's Big Boy.
Yeah.
We have the original
Yeah.
Big Boy that we grew up on. So the Frisch Big Boy, the Azar Big Boy. And then we have the Blasphemous Big Boy.
Yeah.
So let's bring them all together.
All right.
Okay, so we have our 3 big boys. Let's give Bob Lyons' original one a shot.
All right. I'm ready and hungry.
All right, I'm just gonna cut it in half. We'll see how this goes. What this big boy looks like.
Looks pretty good.
It looks like a big boy. It's got the red, cooked perfectly, got a little mayonnaise on the bottom. I think this might actually be better than we're expecting.
I
think our tartar sauce is gonna help it. All right. All right.
All right.
Give it a shot.
Let's finally try it.
All right. Here we go.
It's not a big boy,
It's not a
but
big
it's
boy.
good.
Oh, it's good. That's a great one. That's a good sandwich, not a big boy. It's not my thing.
No.
I don't think I'm a huge fan of the chili sauce. It's just not my thing.
Same.
But you know, if you grow up on it,
Oh yeah.
you probably would hate our big boy. Okay. Well, let's move that one aside. The beautiful,
Yeah.
original, Frisch's style, Azar big boy. So, looks beautiful. Looks kind of what I would expect a big boy to look.
Absolutely.
Good cut on it. Felt good. And then let's see what this looks like on the inside.
Oh yeah.
Now with the original Azar Big Boy. My favorite Big Boy, the Big Boy I grew up on. the thing that when I think of childhood, I think of this sandwich.
Same.
Okay, so let's give this a shot. I hope it stands up to what we expect.
I think it will.
Those are the flavors I know. But it's those flavors. It's just the crispness of the lettuce. I love it when it's shredded like that. Big pieces of like big leaf lettuce doesn't do it for me. I like it shredded here.
The added crunch.
Yeah, so nice. The pickle's really nice.
Yeah, the flavor nostalgia is on point on this.
On point, yep. That was pretty good. And you know what's really good when you keep going back and getting onions?
Exactly. Uh-oh.
The Blasphemy Burger. The Blasphemy Big Boy. And I have to tell you, it looks stunning. It looks really good. So I think this one may end up stealing the show. And that's all right, because times changed a little. But I think the proper way to cook that burger was executed here. If I was going to cook a burger at all in a pan like that, that's how I'd cook it. I'd smash it down. I'd like the crisp. I think your technique was perfect on it. All right. Beautiful. All righty. Let's see how this looks as the cat's going crazy. The final. The Blasphemy Burger. Cut. Display beautifully. I cannot wait to try this. It looks perfect. So let's give this a shot. I like it when you see all the extra mayonnaise. The chef knew what they were doing there. This feels right.
Nice and soft stuff too.
That's so good. The burger's cooked perfect.
Turn out
the extra pickle's great.
For me, what really does this is you have like the nostalgic flavor. It hits you in the face with just a great, like, you know, great smash burger on top of it.
It's perfect. I hope you've enjoyed cooking with us today. This has been a whole lot of fun. I'd like to thank my cousin Andy for joining us as he's explored different ways to make the best big boys possible. I look forward to showing more and more of our family's recipes to you in the near future. And if you have any other comments or suggestions, please leave them below.